Welcome to the Intuitive Teacup, my friends. These tarot readings are meant to motivate, empower, and inspire you. Please keep an open heart and an open mind as you watch these general readings, as some material will resonate and some might not. Do have faith it is serving someone out there, and take away only what resonates for you. Please release the rest. Feel free to book a personal reading with me if you would like something catered specifically to your inquiries and energy. That information is down below for you. You are responsible for all actions and decisions and the vibe that you bring to this channel. This is optional advice or guidance, and of course, you will always have free will. Check the box below for my social media links, the decks I use, and more information on this channel. Let's hop into your tarot reading. What's up, Aries? How's it going? Happy New Year. We've made it through 2020. Let's talk about your love life first, and then we're going to hop over to career and finances. There will be timestamps down below for you. So let's connect with Aries energy. What are the messages they need to hear in January of 2021? Love, relationships. I'm going to read for romantic love, not platonic love. So if this relates in a way that you can translate into your family life, that's great. Take it and run with it. But I am going to read for romantic love. So what does Aries need to hear? Majority of my Aries watching this video. Let's go ahead and split the deck and give them some messages about love. Ooh, those wanted to come out. All right, so possibly building with someone who's been single for a long time. It might be someone you may have met via work. You have 9 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. A lot of Earth energy, which I have been seeing since it is Capricorn season. Happy Capricorn season, guys. Usually this is a card of teamwork, teammates wanting to, or having a mutual interest among the group to, achieve something great together. It could even have to do with, this is sort of like my single lady, single man card, the 9 of Pentacles. So it could be adding one to the mix. So if you are already an established couple, you may actually be thinking about starting a family. Others of you, especially for my Aries who either are single moms or single dads or whatever, you have a child from divorce, you or your person, that could be your person as well, may end up joining a family sort of with the different stepkids or however you want to say it. But it seems like it could work. It seems like somebody is taking their time. I'm almost getting like a Temperance vibe from this, so you might be dealing with a Sagittarius or a Virgo. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, but I feel like there's I want to say almost like a metaphor of, I just heard too many cooks in the kitchen. Interesting, Aries. Of course that would come up in your reading. Is there a power dynamic here? Or is there I'm almost wanting to say a butting of heads, but it's not ferocious. It's not laced with, venomous type, fisticuffs energy. It's not that. It's that you both like to be in charge. You both like to be the decision makers. And so maybe, here's the thing, Aries, if this is you or your person, one or both of you, hopefully both of you, is coming around to the idea that, you know what, we really are a team. It's not really about me making decisions for myself on behalf of the family or on behalf of the both of us. It's like, I almost feel like you guys may have gotten into a small tussle or argument about, you can't just make that decision for the both of us, it involves me. And this could even be about your children too, right? If you are an established couple. The good news is though, I think with a little balance and working through your problems, you'll come to see that like there is a really nice yin and yang to this dynamic. So sometimes you're going to have to give a little to gain a whole lot back. And I do mean in a relationship, and obviously I'm not talking money wise, right? The value of this relationship, it seems like it adds a lot to your life. There's a sense of leisure and peace of mind with this person. I'm just going to tell you the way it's being relayed to me is there's something about you don't feel like you constantly have to be the source of entertainment. You don't always have to be the one suggesting ideas of, well, let's do this and let's do that. And maybe that was you in the past, maybe it wasn't, but there's something about this where it feels like you guys can just chill and relax together. And I'm almost getting the idea of you're together, but you're doing your own thing. So, you're in the corner cuddled up with your book and your person's in the kitchen making some exciting new recipe. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're together, but there's not this need to constantly be like, stimulated by one another. I know that sounds kind of sexual, but do you know what I mean? I actually kind of like this. If anything, if this is an established couple, if you guys are married and whatever, you're checking on this to see about family planning or whatever, I do see that. I also see that potentially I don't even want to say negative, the very, what is a good term for it? Classic situation that I see coming through here is eventually this could reach a point where it's a little bit stagnant, and so you may have to revive it a little bit, but I think you will be able to do so with flying colors. You don't have any negative cards. It's saying with earth energy, pentacles, right? It's like, the seeds we plant over time, they grow bigger, and then they'll regenerate and they'll grow bigger again in the next season. And it's like you've established something for the long term, or you are looking to. If you are currently single, it seems like you're looking at at who's around you. So here's the message for that. If you're currently single and looking around, this is a bit of a tough love message, but I have to read with integrity here. I think you're going to be looking for a little bit longer. Like these are, monthly energies. So in the month of January, this is sort of what I see happening. I think you're going to decide to stay single because your options are okay, but there's something about it where you're just not sure it could work. I also feel like the month of January for you, Aries, it's going to be much more focused on your career and finances, as well as your hobbies. I actually see a lot of you in the kitchen trying recipes or doing something in the home, very Capricorn season energy, but, arts and crafts projects or painting or cleaning out the closet. I see you doing work at home, but there's a sense of pride and I don't know what else I want to say about that. There's a satisfaction to it. It's almost like I don't really need anyone in my life right now, and even if I had someone, I'm not exactly sure where they would fit in. So, by all means, if you're comfortable doing it and you're practicing safe distancing, right, go out and date, see some people, that's fine. I have to be honest though, again, January, February-ish, these are short little time spans. I don't see you instantly connecting with someone like, yes, I want to build with you. I think it's like the idea of collaborating with them is there, but I'm almost getting this energy of like, prove your case. Like, why should I? And it's not, obviously it's more in metaphor, but it's like you're not totally convinced on this person yet. So things still need to be orchestrated behind the scenes for this to come together. So let's dig into that, because I feel like that might be for a majority of my Aries out there. Aries who are maybe single and kind of on the dating market, but they're not sure. I do see you enjoying solitude, or if it's not solitude, I see you enjoying being not tied to one specific person. Three of Pentacles, there are three people there, right? There's three people building, so you may have two options that are earth signs. So Gemini and Scorpio and Aquarius came out instantly. Then you have the Tower, the Four of Pentacles, and the King of Cups. So very likely some of my Aries out there may have just gone through a breakup or a Tower moment with a water sign, especially a male water sign, but it doesn't have to be. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. If it's not a water sign, that's okay. They probably have very strong water in their chart. Or this is you, right? If you strongly resonate as like a Pisces cusper, right? Anyway. To me, there was some sort of Tower moment with this King of Cups, and one or both of you is still kind of holding on to the memories of what used to be, but you're not I keep saying very classic Capricorn mode. I should explain what that means. Earth, like digging our hands and doing the work, achieving success, right? You're not doing the work to rebuild after the Tower moment. It's almost like you're lingering in, do you see how like there's smoke surrounding that tower? Like the smoky, foggy haze of what happened. I think your mind is still attached to the past, but it's almost like you need to clear the smoke. You need to get it out of the way so you can actually see what was really there in substance. Because one or both of you, I'm almost getting was sort of romanticizing the idea of what could have been, but ultimately it did end for a reason. Could it rekindle and start back up? Sure, but I think the message here right now is it's not about that. Right now, it's not about a time of rekindling. It's about understanding why this Tower moment came through, why this relationship ended, and taking away the lessons from it, essentially. The thing is, for a lot of you, I'm almost sensing you were the one who ended it. Now, again, it could be vice versa. So in which case, it's not necessarily saying you need to sort through the smoke, right? The foggy, Neptunian, dreamy-like energy of, oh, well, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and why didn't it? For most of you, I think it's your person who's still holding on to you. But I am going to say this. If this is truly over and done with, why are they showing up in your tarot spread? A, maybe it is supposed to come back together again. Or B, you're supposed to acknowledge something about that Tower moment because yes, maybe you ended it, but maybe the ultimate lesson was for you to take away something about yourself because this was a karmic, right? Because it was someone you were meeting by, the divine fate, right? Something like that. So I'm hearing the word sisterhood or brotherhood, so that could quite literally be a very strong connection you have with one of your siblings, or more than likely it has to do with a best friend, and that's sort of what I mean. It's not to say you can't go out and date, by all means, do what you feel motivated and inspired to do. Again, Capricorn season, I wouldn't say is my most sexy time for dating, right? I would say if you're already partnered up and coupled, you're probably going to be cozy in your house with your person, probably having lots of sex, right? Capricorn is an earth sign, so we associate that with the body, right? If you're currently single, I see you doing work on friendships, possibly on relationships that you're trying to rebuild from, hobbies, again, things around your house, things where you literally have to get your hands involved. You know, maybe you're repairing stuff with a hammer and nails. Maybe you're an artist and you're doing finger painting. Like, do you understand what I mean? Playing guitar, this and that. I see you doing, and especially work too. I don't know if you're currently at a job, or some of you may be trying to build your own business. Something that's almost more spiritual based, almost like, I'm sort of getting kind of like witchcrafty type energy. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt, but with a grain of salt, that might be important in your recipe, in your ingredients. But almost like candle making, or making, you know, stringing crystals for jewelry, something that's kind of more, you know, earth-based, hippy-dippy earth-based type stuff, which is cool. I'm not at all shitting on that, so I hope you weren't offended the way I said that. But yeah, something about a sisterhood and a friendship, whatever that is, a brotherhood, it's like you have your ride or die. It's platonic love. That person is really going to help you get through what feels like a major ending in your life. The thing is, this whole thing with the death card, it's like he's about to sever the tie once and for all. I do think that has to do with a relationship in your life where I don't know why you're still holding on to it, or if it's your person, but I think for the time being, universe is saying like, snip. Like, it might be time to cut that and just give yourself a breather, some time and some distance away from it. This could also be saying, too, if you went through a breakup or a divorce, it feels like you're still with that person, even though you're not. So it's almost like they might be finding their way back into your life, or finding reasons to text you of like, oh, well, especially if it's something about like childcare, like, hey, it's your turn to pick up the kid, or whatever it is, right? To me, it's like you're forced to work with them when universe is saying, but can we give it some distance? Like, do we have to do that? Because ultimately, I think the healing, which is what the tower ultimately comes through and brings in healing of the star, it's always done individually. It's not to say you can't have your soul tribe, your sisterhood, your best friend, your family backing you, but there's something about distancing yourself, especially from I heard toxic, so for some of you that may resonate, your toxic ex or whoever this was, right? I understand one or both of you is still very much holding on to it and not wanting to accept the truth of the matter, that something has ended. And again, I mean, I hate to be so general, but I can't help but say, I feel like this may come back together in the future just to try it and see. And others of you are like, absolutely not. I would never do that. Okay, that's your truth. That's totally fine. You have free will. But if you are looking to rekindle something from the past, I can tell in this timeline, which is roughly Capricorn season, this will not come back together until you give this distance. So I know it's easy to set the intention of, oh, okay, like, you know, I want to rekindle, I want to reunite in the future, but I'm just going to focus on me. Actually focus on you. Don't just tell yourself that you're going to do that, but then be checking their Facebook every night. Because again, you're sending those signals to the universe. It's like, I'm detached, but I'm not. And I'm detached, but I'm not. It's like, well, universe needs you to be very clear on what you want. And I think, you know, again, you have free will, but universe is really nudging you to do work on yourself, on living your best life, standing on your own 2 feet, really focusing on your pentacles, on your money, on your house, on your family, putting that as priority number one, and then kind of letting relationships follow suit after that. I think it will come together organically. And I also see some of you having a very good friend who there may actually be flirtations with them in the future, especially a Scorpio or a Gemini, possibly an Aquarius. 2 cards of Scorpio, by the way. For a lot of you, and it could go vice versa. So if one of the signs I just named is the ex that you're trying to release, then I see something in the future coming in with a water sign, a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. If that's kind of the ex, that I'll be honest, the water sign is very likely holding on to you, Aries. And I don't mean to offend the cross watchers, but I see that the strongest. Then it's possible that in the future you may have a Gemini, Scorpio, Aquarius coming in for something new. Let's talk about this, because this seems very cool to me. This card represents multiple things in your reading. Again, that idea of sisterhood, brotherhood, your rock, your person who's going to get you through the hard times. For some of you, it is a strictly platonic friendship, but it actually could turn romantic. Even same-sex couples, so especially for my Aries who... what is the term? Like bisexual. I hope that's still the correct term. But yeah, I could kind of see that happening as well. Well, let's talk about that. Because I feel like that's something who you never... It's either that you weren't available for other romantic suitors at the time, or you may have friend-zoned this person. I feel like I say that to you a lot. This may actually turn into something down the road, but I'm not sure you necessarily view this friend as your person yet. I just heard Capricorn, so let's see. And again, I'm seeing Aquarius. You may have had an ending with a Scorpio. You have 3 cards of Scorpio. And honestly, guys, I've only done, I think, 5 readings so far, but this card has come up in almost every spread, and this is indeed a Capricorn card, so timestamp. And 4 of Pentacles, it's not a bad card, but it's quite literally saying, can we hold on? Can we sit here and, like, get our thoughts together? Can we get our money together? Can we not race right out into the arms of someone new just because we're feeling a little lonely? This is about embracing the awkwardness or the uncomfortability of what's growing and changing inside of you on your spiritual journey and allowing it to do so. It's not always the most comfortable experience, but any 4, it eventually becomes stagnant and we have to move on to the 5s, right? I'm speaking kind of tarot language, right? But 5s are agents of change and chaos. 5s are uncomfortable, but they are what promote growth in our life. So with this 4, I think it's saying, like, again, the idea of holding on to the past because you don't necessarily want to go through the uncomfortable motions of fully detaching from it. I think that's where a lot of you are, or again, possibly your person, but their energy is still kind of around you. It's coming up in your spread for a reason. So I'm not saying you can control how other people think or feel or what they do about you, but energetically you can tell the universe what you're looking for and what you're hoping to detach from. This is about hopes and dreams and wishes, right? Getting divine guidance, being seen by the universe and your manifestations being heard. And it is about the self and healing, essentially, right? After a tower moment comes through and really rocks your world, there's a period of like, holy shit, what just happened to me? Like, let's just like, let me collect myself for a moment. That's what this card is. So that's why I'm saying, of course you're going to find new love if this is your story, but there's a moment of, let me just live my own life for a minute. Let me just focus on myself. That's sort of the advice or guidance here. Do I see other zodiac signs playing a part in this? Absolutely. But I'll be honest, these 3 zodiac signs that came out right in a row, Scorpio, Aquarius, Gemini, that could be your family. That could be your brother, your sister, your best friend. These people are going to be helping you heal from a tower moment. So, I'm not necessarily predicting this, but let's just be honest. This could be the loss of a job. This could be the loss of something very important in your life, whatever it is. Maybe it's your pet dog and I don't predict death. You guys know this by now, right? I never predict death on my channel. But again, if you've already experienced this, then you know what this tower is, right? I think it's already happened for the most of you, but it's saying like, we got to let the what is that expression? Let the smoke clear. It's like we got to get like the foggy confusion out of the way to actually understand, okay, this happened. Why though? Why did it happen? And it's not about playing the victim. And I don't mean to be insensitive, but it's not about doing the holding a grudge against the universe and why me and it's not fair. That's not what I'm talking about. It's understanding, okay, the universe has something bigger in store for me. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I wish this hadn't have happened, but it did. So let me ground myself and work with the puzzle pieces that I have in front of me, right? That's what I'm saying. There's a period of acceptance and acknowledging what happened and just understanding it happened. There's nothing I can do about it. So how am I going to build from here? That will serve you well. And I mean, healing is a very personal process, but if you can actually be in that state of mind of, okay, I'm going to work with what I have and I'm going to make the best of it. That is going to fast track, I hope that's the right word, like put you on the fast track to finding new love, to finding your dream career, to finding happiness, right? And happiness really does come from within. I know it's cheesy, but it's true, right? So anyway, yes, I am going to talk about this love reading. Let's talk about this Lover's card, Judgment. It very likely is someone you already know. It's probably not the person you experienced the tower moment with, but there might be someone from your past who maybe you dated briefly, or maybe they always had a crush on you or vice versa, but it never really came together. They're quite literally coming together and supporting one another. It could be with another fire sign. You see how the fire is very bright and beautiful in between them. You may have a similar, obviously you are an Aries Sun, a fire sign. If your person isn't a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag, it might be that I'm almost getting you both have a Venus in a fire sign, or you both have I don't know, like a Mercury or a moon or a rising. You have something in your chart that's similar and it's in fire. But that being said, it could easily be a Sun Gemini who has a, Sagittarius moon or something like that. Okay, tell me more about this. Especially for my same-sex couples, this just really resonates for that. But certainly it could be male and female as well. Oh, okay, so this is someone who they either helped you through a very difficult time in your life. It's probably who's doing that now. For some of you, it could be someone who you had a little bit of arguments with. There was some Five of Swords energy. Someone who kind of hurt you or acted in a more I'm sort of getting selfish, I'll just be honest. I'm acting in a more selfish way of, no, well, I want this. And I'll be honest, Aries, this could be you in a past chapter in your life. You've probably grown and learned from this relationship, but it's almost like karmically it's coming back around to, it's not so much test you. I think this is something that had potential, but it's almost like it slipped from your grip and universe is like, oh, I thought that was the one. It's almost like universe is giving you a second chance with this one. It might be with an Aquarius. Or a Gemini. Yeah, absolutely. I'm getting a lot of air signs here. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Again, this is like, if it's not best friends, it's someone who you don't have huge grudges against. I think there may be, I'm getting two storylines. So there's one storyline A, where you guys experienced something together that was a little bit, like it left a bad taste in your mouth, but it's not someone who like you would never speak to again. It's almost like the elephant in the room if you never really had that talk about what happened, because maybe you screwed up. Maybe you did something you weren't proud of. Maybe that happened with them. Maybe it was both of you, right? And it's like, this seemed like a really strong connection, but then, like we there was a misstep and then it just kind of ended. I think universe is encouraging one or both of you to go in and fix it. That's storyline A. Storyline B is that this has always been your co-pilot, the goose to your maverick, right? Your rock, your person, who they've always just been a friend, but they've helped you through some really difficult times. So it's almost like they know your history, as they say, warts and all your negative qualities as well as your positive. They embrace it all. They love you for who you are, even at moments where you're not proud of yourself or whatever that is. It's almost like there's some, it's fast, it's swift. There's some sort of movement to make this something more than friends. I'm almost getting the vibe. I know this feels like sappy rom-com, but I'm almost getting the vibe. This is the person who it's like, you rush into their arms when you need help because you know they got you. It's that type of vibe. And it might go vice versa, Aries. It might be someone who always comes to you with their problems and you're like, it feels very friend zone. Like now I'm hearing all about, Robert's, ex-girlfriend Barbara. And meanwhile, I just want to kiss him. Like it's that type of thing. Like you've always kind of been the friend, but I don't know where I came up with those names, but maybe those are someone's names out there. So you understand there's two storylines here. This is either someone you have a past with, or it's someone who's just been in your past and knows your dating history, but that's coming together. I just feel it, especially with a Gemini. Aries and Gemini, I wonder how that would work. I've never really thought about that. I was trying to think of celebrities who are those. I don't know any Aries and Geminis, although maybe some of you do. Raise your hand if you're an Aries dating a Gemini. Leave a comment. All right, Page of Pentacles. Yeah, again, this is reinforcing. This is not someone brand new. If you're looking for someone brand new, again, Scorpio, Aquarius, possibly Gemini. Others of you, this storyline is saying they're already kind of in your life. Look at this Friends Tarot. This is so goofy looking. Maybe they're a cowboy. Maybe they got a southern accent. I don't know. Maybe they live in Texas. Is everything really bigger in Texas? I'm just kidding. Yeah, this person isn't brand new. They want to continue to build a relationship with you, even if thus far that relationship has only been friendship, okay? Aries, that's what I got for you. Again, this is just the month of January, so if it's not your story, don't shoot the messenger. Let's move on to career and finances. All right, for my Aries gang. How are we doing for time? Oh my lord. If I can keep these under 40 minutes, I'm doing good. Aries, are you still with me? Let's talk about your money. Let's talk about career and finances. Anything that wants to come. Ooh, so money might be rough right now. Because there was, it could be there was an ending or a layoff or a furlough or something of the sort. But here's the thing. I think some of you are going to get news about how to get out of a financial burden or a financial struggle. It's saying you're kind of going through it right now. So even if that doesn't have to do with finances, it might be something with your health or your body. You're just not feeling great. This can be a card of kind of depression or hardship, right? And, I know it's not a great way to start, but it's going to get better. I can tell. So the King of Swords can sometimes be the one who cuts, the one who severs. So it could be that you're ending that mindset of everything is going wrong and I'm never going to be happy. It could easily be a mindset. If it's your health, if it's your, career, right? It's saying there may have been a cut or an ending, but you're rebuilding from that because now you have more knowledge going forward. The King of Swords is very straightforward, but he values his mind, his intelligence, and I'm almost getting you need to fuel your mind better, which I'm almost getting it has to do with more your body than you think. Like you need to be eating and exercising and sleeping right, the obvious things, but are you doing that? Because yeah, it's setting you up for disaster if you're not treating your body like your temple, because you have to have your mind firing on all cylinders this month. There's going to be a lot of communications coming to you this month, so it could be communications with, your lover, your family, but it could also be communications for business, which is ultimately what I'm reading for. So let's see. What are these important communications? You may have an Aquarius in your life who's wanting to communicate with you a lot or give you a lot of knowledge and information. Some of you may end up being teachers or professors, or you may have had a layoff from doing that, right? Spiritual teachers, especially, okay, interesting, teachings about the body. So, I mean, maybe you're teaching anatomy, but it could be something more spiritual, like you're teaching a yoga class or you're starting a blog about nutrition. Do you understand what I mean? There's something about you're like a spiritual teacher of sorts, and I know some of you are like, that's not me. Just you wait, Aries. That's going to make sense later. To you and to me, hopefully, because I just keep getting you're teaching people a spiritual lesson. It's not necessarily karmic, but it's again, it's spirituality. It's like you're a light worker for something in your future. Again, don't worry about it if it doesn't make sense now. I'm seeing you working with food and diet and nutrition. I don't know if a lot of you are chefs or cooks or you're just living your best life, making fun recipes. I see that being very cathartic and healthy for you. So depending on when the seasons would allow, I also see your hands digging in the earth. So you might literally be planting a flower bed or trying to grow some kind of new crops, or even I'm seeing almost like a fish tank and you're setting up seaweed or something. I get these crazy intuitive hits and I never know if they're right. So I understand I sound crazy when I say them to you, but hopefully that makes sense to someone. I also, again, these crazy hits, I also see something about Disneyland. So I don't even know if that's open right now, but it could indicate that some of you are going to work for that company. I'm seeing Mickey Mouse ears in those clouds. So again, I don't know if like the theme park is open per se, but it could be that some of you are going to get like a desk job at Disney or working for the Disney Corporation or on a Disney film. And again, I don't know the timeline of this, guys. That's up to you. That's kind of up to the world and then, the whole COVID thing right now. I don't know the time, but I see that happening for some of you. Something related to Disney or maybe even theme parks, right? What else can I tell you here? So yes, spiritual lessons, being a spiritual teacher of sorts, especially almost like, okay, this makes sense for you, Aries, because you're ruled by Mars, something very athletic driven. So maybe you're teaching gym but more than likely, I almost see it's something you're starting in your house or your home. So you could be doing tutorials on muscle toning and putting it on YouTube or something to do with your body or physical appearance. Again, classic kind of Aries symbology, right? Because you guys rule the face. It could be makeup tutorials. It could be something with hats or clothing, costuming, sewing, something of the sort. Some of you are reading lines, you're writing a script or you're writing a book, and I see you reading lines to the camera. So I don't know if you're going through an audition process. Oh, actually, that makes sense. I know a couple Aries who are doing that. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Moving on. I'm only telling you this because all those things are coming up in your spread. So if these are hits or confirmations for you of, oh my gosh, I've been thinking that, do it. If you're watching this going, that's not me, okay, that's not your message. So we'll move on. There was one other thing I was trying to say here. What was it? Gardening, yeah, hands in the earth, in the dirt, digging. I don't know what you're digging in the earth, but you're planting something eventually, whenever the ground isn't frozen solid. What was the other thing I was going to say? The body, muscle toning, weather. So some of you are researching weather and weather systems. I don't know. Something about elements like rain and snow, and I don't know. Maybe you're forecasters. I don't know. Or that's going to play a role in whatever you do next. I don't know if maybe you're predicting astrology or you're predicting weather or I don't know. Help me out, Spirit. What was I going to say here? There was one other thing I was going to say. Okay, some of you are working with injured people. I'm almost getting like sort of like Wounded Warrior Project. It could be working with people who have like PTSD. More than likely, I'm almost getting more like nursing though, like people with broken bones. And for some of you, it's a more spiritual level, like helping to heal those with like a broken heart. So again, like healing, I'm almost getting like yogi type, I don't know what the word is, like shaman type vibes for some of you. Again, like witchy type stuff. Use this herb, it will help you heal this. And anyway, okay, we're going to move on. So some of you have someone wanting to communicate something with you. You may be joining a team or joining a job from the past or a group of people you've prior worked with. One of them may have gotten a job and it's like you guys network together to work together again, but I'm not sure it's under the same company. It might be it's something else. So hey, that's a really nice message for some of you, right? You're going to be reunited with old coworkers. Now it could just be for fun, but very likely this is saying Aries, right? My first card of the major arcana. This can sometimes be Aquarius too. So there's something very important about the collaboration of Aquarius and Aries in this spread. I literally see it like 3 times. All these are cards of Aquarius, by the way. Possibly a male earth sign, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I see a lot of you joining a team of people that you already know, or if you don't already know them, you guys bond instantly. There's just like this mutual connection where it's like, oh my God, me too. Like there's this really like, it's like fire. It's like you guys bounce ideas off each other very well, and it does have to do with your work. It's very likely a group of 3 people, or you're joining an established group of 3. You may be the 4th, forming a little witches coven, aren't you? No, I'm just kidding. You end up joining some group where it's fun. You enjoy the work. It's very likely working with people you already know, and you guys are building something together. This is the second time I think this card has come up, but you guys have like a mutual interest in achieving something great together. And it may be, again, a career involving working with the earth, working with plants and nature and gardens and flowers, working with the body, muscle toning, working with, it could even be like the physical body in terms of almost like decorating it, makeup tutorials, a hair salon, doing people's hair. It could even be, what do you call that? When you like spray paint people's bodies. What is that called? Spray tanning? Something about the physical human body, as well as careers in healing. Again, you have the star twice. So if it's not an Aquarius, it very likely has to do with either being kind of that shamanic, is that right? Shamanic, kind of earthy witch type healer. It's something very positive. I'm using that word in a positive way. Or if it doesn't have to do with like spirituality and healing, it almost has to do with the idea of celebrity. The star, I don't say that all the time, but because I'm getting all these things about, spray tanning the body and makeup and hair and this and that, you may be working with celebrities. You may be like the personal assistant to someone who's in the limelight, someone who is a star. Or that could be you, right? I was saying some of you are going on auditions or reading lines or doing something where you're in the public eye. Some of you may be giving some sort of important lecture or speech, and if that's the case, it's going to go very well. It's like you're going to get yourself a nice little cushy job based on that very important speech you gave. Okay, this was the thing I was going to say, and I completely lost it like 5 minutes ago. Some of you are financial advisors. You're giving wisdom and guidance and words of encouragement and inspiration to help people get out of debt or difficult financial times. You may be working with a company who does that. You may be assisting in the production of giving out loans or paychecks or humanitarian type causes, raising funds for different groups who are struggling. And I keep seeing this guy on crutches, which, obviously he's in the card, but I'm really seeing it this time. So some of you, again, are working with, maybe you're just a nurse or you're working in an old folks home, but you're working with people who are, their body, instead of, the thing is, there's a duality. You bring this element of spiritual healing, I'm going to say it, Aries, just by being in the room, right? You bring this kind of beautiful spiritual warmth as a fire sign into the room with you. That in itself is very nurturing to people who are kind of in desperate times, dire straits. A lot of you, though, are actually like physically healing. I don't know if you're doing Reiki or massages or, again, a nurse helping to mend the broken bone and teach people to walk on their limbs. Almost like physical therapy. Again, work with the body. So I know some of you are like, that doesn't make sense. Think outside the box because I see you doing work with the body. Then we got this, though. So what the hell is that about? Are you guys working with prisoners? Are you working in a rehabilitation center where you're working with like juvenile delinquents? Sometimes this card can quite literally be people who are behind bars or people. If it's not prison, it's in metaphor, people who are sort of trapped and stuck in a situation. I'm almost getting releasing them out into the world. So again, rehabilitation centers, right? Even if it's just people who are, it doesn't necessarily have to be like drugs or, alcohol rehab, but, broken bone type, rehabilitation. Some of you may be setting people free back out into the world. And I know that's kind of a weird metaphor, so I don't know exactly what to do with it, but it's like people who have lacked freedom, you're helping them to, oh, interesting. Maybe get their first apartment on their own. Ooh, that's important. Yeah, guys, that's really important. I got the chills. So it could be helping people who have just been victims of circumstance. You may be helping children find a family that is more healthy if they grew up in, like, God forbid, a domestic situation that was, abusive or something. People who've lacked freedom, and I'm almost getting they lack confidence. They may lack not basic human skills, but there's something they lack and they kind of need your assistance to show them the way. Low-income families, you may be showing them properties or showing them homes, or it could be leading like an Alcoholics Anonymous course or something. People who've lacked freedom or suffer from their own kind of internal demons. You're like, come on. It's almost like you're trying to will a cat out of its cage. You know when you take a cat to the vet and you have to put it in the thing, they're like, that's almost what I get from this. You may be helping victims of some sort. That's a very important message, Aries. And again, it won't make sense for all of you right now. It'll make sense for more of you later on. You're using your gentle, kind communications, almost like encouraging or coaching people to like, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Again, especially if they've broken a bone, right? That type of, okay, one step at a time. You got this. I'm here. I'll catch you. You may also be doing it for, it might literally be with animals, right? Animals who you may remove them from a bad domestic situation or something. It's like you're saving victims or saving people who have just had a really tough go at life. This is very powerful, Aries. You give them a fresh start. You give them an opportunity to build something new for themselves. You, in a sense, are like their earth angel. You, in the sense, are like their guardian angel because you see them when they were forgotten among the rest, right? A million stars in the sky. You see them as important. You see them as having potential, and you're showing them. It's like you're showing them the light to help them rebuild from a crappy circumstance. Aries, this is powerful. I'm going to say this might be my favorite reading so far. All right, so I know y'all are like, where's my money at? Hey, there it is. I was going to say the only pentacle card I have is this one, which is not great. And then I have one about building. So for some of you, there will be a job offer. Again, working with another Aries or an Aquarius, possibly a Gemini. Tell me about this Wheel of Fortune. So you are at a crossroads. You may have two options, or it would involve leaving one to go to the other. Okay, so some of my Aries are struggling because at heart you are a true artist or a true creative. Only you, and I'm not saying this is true, this is your perception of the situation, which as we know from the Eight of Swords, it's false thoughts. It's negative thoughts or beliefs that we give our power up to, so all of a sudden they're controlling us. If that's you, we need to get you out of that headspace because a lot of you, this stems from a place where you took some sort of risk to go after a career that is much more artistic and creative, and again, like actress, singer, dancer, model, something like that. You went after a career once or tried to, maybe took the steps to, and you got burned. It did not go well. And so the Wheel of Fortune, fortune comes knocking again for you to try something similar or, equally artistic or different or a little bit left of center. It's not like a teacher or a banker, right? Although I would argue, whatever you're passionate about, I think you made strides to go after something passionate, only you didn't have enough information for it to succeed the first time around. So universe is saying, I didn't forget about that. I got you, Aries, but it wasn't the right timing. Do you have faith that I'm going to usher in your wishes and dreams when things start to align better, right? When you have a group of people supporting you, when you have a bigger network of people you can rely on and, whatever. It's saying you guys are hesitant to go after this again, even though opportunity is knocking, because you got burned once. You leaped too fast, right? And I understand. I'm not, saying it was a bad thing. You took a risk and good for you. There aren't enough risk takers in life, right? You took a risk to go towards something and it didn't end well. And you were just like, oh my God, I'm never going to do that again. How am I going to pay back the people financially? I have to swallow my ego when I go home for Christmas and tell them I did, all that stuff. It's like, yeah, it happened, whatever. And I'm giving you tough love because ultimately what I'm saying is this time it's going to be different. So as much as you're kicking yourself for not doing it right and almost like shaming yourself, that's what I'm saying. Like that's enough with that. We don't need to do that anymore. You took a risk. It didn't work out, but you know what? You know that now, and you know what you're going to do differently the next time. This is not a closed door. Universe was almost saving you even more financial debt by not allowing it to come together the first time. A lot of you, this is a brand new start, and it's going to succeed this time. You see the red cloak of passion? That's what's coming in when you go after your passions again. And I'm almost saying this is a lesson about not being scared of failure. Failure is only as monstrous as you make it out to be. Failure, ultimately, it's lessons. Like, oh, okay, I understand what I did wrong. I'm going to do it again. Try again. That's what this whole thing is. Like, if you fall, right, if the tower comes through and you have to rebuild, what are you going to do? Not rebuild? Of course you're going to. You have no choice, right? Opportunity knocks and it's very positive. The Wheel of Fortune wouldn't be here if it wasn't positive, but it's saying there's, essentially what I'm getting here is there's a sacrifice here. Are you willing to leave behind your whatever, your solid foundation, your mainstream of income? And again, I'm not necessarily advising this. I mean, I think the tarot cards are saying there would be something very positive about this, but I'm a realist too. You can't just jump ship and not have a support system. So, can you plan your exit strategy? Can you devote more time to the side hustle so that eventually you can transition over, right? Again, I want you guys to know I'm not reading this with like wild abandonment, just like, yeah, dreams, wishes, do that. Like, I get it. You have to be practical about it. That's what all this earth energy is saying. But when fortune knocks, I think you would be silly not to consider it just because you were disappointed once. That's the message here. Okay, Aries? Yeah, you have your defenses up with someone. It might be an ex-husband or an ex-wife. There may be a key collaboration that comes around again with a fire sign, only again, you guys may feel some type of way about each other. I would look at it as a perfect time to mend fences, to bridge the gap, because you guys could do amazing work together, especially another Aries or a Leo. It could also be a Sagittarius. Yeah, and some of you are working in like a very religious or spiritual type environments. You may literally hold a position in like, maybe it could be church or temple, or you might be working with your church group or doing some sort of like humanitarian effort. That's sort of what I see here, like charity events or donations or something like that. Some of you are doing work on the phone. I don't know if you're trying to sell some sort of, almost like sell a membership to help, again, like lower income families. But I see you almost being like working at a call center. So you're probably doing it from home, but like, on the phone trying to raise money for a cause. That's sort of what I see. All right, Aries, let's get you some butterfly oracle cards and we'll wrap her on up. New career. Hey, look at you. I don't know why, but I looked at this and I heard a tiger can't change his stripes. Yes, you can. That's bullshit. Don't believe that. That might be someone else's truth. That's not your truth. A tiger can't change his stripes. Yes, he can. The universe says yes, he can. And then changing your mind. Look at that. I love that those two came out together. And that might be symbolic, something with tiger prints, or again, working with animals. Something about those might be important, so I'm just going to show them to you and let you interpret them as well, because you are a key player in this tarot reading. All right, and we'll get you an earth card, an earth magic card, since it's Capricorn season. Happy birthday to the Capricorns, right? If I have any cross-watching Capricorns, I see you. I see you peeking in on your Aries. I'm just kidding. All right, Earth Magic card for my Aries gang, for Aries. I almost called you Capricorn after I said that, so maybe I am picking up on some Capricorn cross-watchers. All right, ooh, you got two. Autumnal equinox, release. So something may have happened I'm almost getting like Libra season in the fall. That could have been when your Tower moment came through. It could have been that you lost a job or you lost a relationship in your life, or again, something very close to you. It could have been a home. It could have been your teddy bear, right? It doesn't have to be tragedy, but there was loss. So there was a moment where you're being asked to release it, and know that the universe has not forgotten about you. That's what the star card says. Ultimately, it's like the Tower ushers in chaos so that you can grow from it, because ultimately, like the message of the Tower is that you were stuck. You were dancing with the devil in the Tower, which is about either addiction issues or fear or codependency or whatever it is. And I know some of you, it doesn't make sense now. That's okay. Give it time. It will make sense later. The star is the light, right? It's shining light on the darkness. So it's showing you almost like your shadow side and what you were clinging on to out of fear or out of whatever it is, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. Whatever. It was releasing you from that so you can embrace a new chapter in your life, and it's going to be positive. Wheel of Fortune, right? And then ocean, ebb and flow. So possibly something with a water sign is the first thing that came to mind here. Maybe just spending some time at the ocean, being in nature. Some of you need to buy one of those, like, I almost said cassette tapes. Oh my God, am I dating myself? Those like audio recordings of like ocean waves and water crashing, like, and you fall asleep to it. There would be something very, like spiritual as well as healing for you. In fact, that may have to do with how you're helping to heal people. Wow, this is so random. I'm almost getting a message of people who you're again, like almost rehabilitation, whether it's from like a physical body wound or a mental, whatever it is, healing, Alcoholics Anonymous, whatever it is, you may be taking people to the ocean or to the beach. And it's something about having like a spiritual connection with the universe. It's like you're having them put their feet in the water for the first time, possibly ever. Or, after they have their almost like artificial limb or something, it's like you're giving them this gift of seeing
the Pacific Ocean, or I don't know what that is, but it's very important for some of you, and it is about healing. And I'm just, quite literally, it's going to be very healthy for you. So I don't know where you're at around the globe, Aries, but something about this may make sense in the future. You may also be doing something with oceanography, but that's not really what I meant. Marine biology, doing something with sea creatures. I don't know if you're working at you're working at SeaWorld, or I don't know. I'm not even going to put that out there. But I'm just doing something, what do you call that, in like a fish tank, where they used to have one of those like when we were kids, like in educational programs. It's like, oh, and this is what a starfish looks like, and everybody, touch it with your finger very gently. You may be teaching kids about like ocean life or sea life. You may be doing that if you're a grade school teacher. Maybe you have, projection power maps or whatever. I don't even know what that means. You guys know what I mean. I'm thinking overhead projector. Do you guys still use those? I'm so out of touch. But anyway, you may be showing people graphs and charts about things about the ocean too. Nature is very strong in your reading, Aries. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Please like, share, subscribe. Have a very happy year. It's 2021, baby. Get ready. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.